Hi guys. In this video, I just want to correct your page. Really, it's 16 through 18. You were supposed to do numbers 1A through 15 and then also number 23. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to stop and show you a couple. And again, I just want you to correct your work. When we're done, I want you to redo ones you got wrong and explain why you got them wrong. If you got them all right, go ahead and pick one or two and tell me what you did on the problem to get it right. Okay? So 1A, the city that was the coldest was A, and the city that was the warmest was B. And it's simple if you think about just the fact that anything to the very left of the number line is smaller than anything to the right of the number line, no matter what, whether we're talking negative or positive. That's the way it works. Let me get okay. Number 2. And then on number 1A, I'm sorry, go back. You should have graphed those spots on the number line. And parents, please make sure that that's done correctly. So number 2, if we're listing numbers from least to greatest, realize that we want to start with the biggest negative number because that's the number you lost the most money. That's horrible. That's the least amount of money you could possibly have. So when we look at number 2, it goes -9, -6, -3, 0, 1, 4, 8. Okay? So number 3, we're going to go through this list and we're going to go, okay, which one's the biggest, because it's not really the biggest, negative number. So I see 65 and it's negative. That makes it technically the smallest number. Nobody wants to lose $65. That's a lot of money. Okay? So -65 is the smallest. -13 is a little bit bigger. I'd rather lose $13 than 65. Then -7, and then we move into our positive numbers, and those should be relatively easy. 7, 34, 55, 62. Number 4, if I'm complaining, look at me, I'm complaining. Now, if I'm comparing, much better, -17 and 22. I want you to be able to write it both ways. And if you didn't do that, add that to your paper. I want you to be able to say -17 to 22. I'm sorry, -22. Or -22 to -17. Because you should be able to write them both ways. So, would you rather lose 17 or 22? I'd rather lose $17. Not pounds, dollars. We're going to open it to the bigger number. And then if you flip it, keep it opened to that same number. Add the other one to your paper if you only wrote it one way. Okay, now number 5 through 8, I'm going to read to you what it should say, and I'm also going to write it so that you see how to read these as sentences. So this I would say -17 is greater than -22. Or I could say -22 is less than -17. Now, if that is confusing to you, I want you to think of the inequality sign almost like a triangle. And if I'm looking at a triangle, and I actually take the triangle and I cut it in half. If you are reading that small part of the triangle first, consider this like first and second. If you're reading the small part of the triangle first, you say less than. Okay? If you're reading the big side of the triangle first, kind of like this one, or if I read this one backwards, does that make sense? Then you would say greater than. So I can read, and this is what I want you to get to a place that you can do. I can read this forwards or backwards. Just envision this little triangle and envision it cut in half. If I read this side first, I get to the big side first. So I would say -17 is greater than -22. If I read this side first, I see the small piece first. So I would say -22 is less than -17. So we're going to see if that makes sense to you. I'm going to read it, and then I'll put them all on the board real quick so you can check your work. So, number 5, -9 is less than 2. So number 5, your inequality symbol should go this way. Number 6, -1 is greater than -3. So your inequality sign should go that way. Number 7, -8 is less than -4. So your inequality sign should go this way. And number 8, -2 is greater than -6. So your inequality sign should go this way. So go ahead and just double check your work. And I do want you to practice saying these out loud. Hint, hint, that may end up being a quiz question. So make sure you're prepared. And if you don't understand it, please, please, please email me. Okay, I'm going to pick up the pace a little bit. So number 9, letter A, -3 is less than 2. Less than. So -3, 2. And letter B, 0, because that is a number. Don't say nothing. Everyone's like, what's the answer? Nothing. No, it's 0. That's the math way of saying nothing. So 0, it's an actual number. Use it. Don't be scared of it. It is greater than -4. I would rather have $0 than to owe someone $4, because that's another way of thinking about negative numbers. It might be something you owe someone. Okay? Okay. I'm going to skip number 10. Hopefully you answer it. Something that we could discuss at a red track meeting. We're going to go to number 11. A should be at -8. R should be at -4. L should be at -3. S should be at 3. B, as in boy, should be at 4. And E should be at 9. And the player that has the best plus-minus record is E, which is Simpson. And that's because Simpson is all the way to the right of the number line. So that would be the best, the biggest. Number 12. Let me put these signs up here in case you're still not that great at saying them out loud. That's okay. So number 12, -197 is less than -110. I'd rather lose $110 than $197, which in reality, I'd rather lose no money. But if you think about that, it'll help you, okay? Number 13 is 167 is greater than -65. I mean, that one's a little more obvious because we have a positive number and a negative number. We don't have to think too much about what's really big or smaller. And number 14, when you're ordering it. Now, number 14 is important because this is the type of question you get on a state test where they give you the information, you have to order it, okay? And when you do this, don't write down the numbers. We don't want the numbers in your answer. We want the words. So sometimes you have to go back and connect the words and the numbers. So number 14, it goes, so we're going from greatest to least. So it goes Mercury, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Uranus, Neptune. Okay? Number 15, I'm going to skip A. We'll check it and make sure you know how to graph on a number line. Hopefully you're getting better at that. Letter B should be -5, -2, 2, 4, and 7. And then number 23, I'm going to just read to you a sample answer, and you can kind of judge and see if your explanation is along the same lines, okay? So the first of all, I had to order everything from least to greatest. So it goes -10, -3, 5, 16, and so you had a second list, -3, 5, -10, 16. Okay? Both lists end with 16 because 16 is the greatest number and it's the furthest number away from 0. Let's think about it. Positive 16 and -16 are going to be the same distance away from 0. So even though 16 is bigger and -16 is smaller, if I'm moving from 0, it's that same space. Okay? So it's not true for the second group because -6, like I said, -16, 16 is the same distance. So when I'm talking just distance, it's not numbered or ordered the same way. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. If you have any questions, please email me and I will see you soon.